So they got this Jamaican woman that's want to ask questions to Black Americans about the term African American. That term has really been coming to the forefront in 2025. And let's go ahead on and deal with what she's saying, because that term in 2025 has caused a lot of confusion.
African Americans, you are your own people now. And that should be enough. That should be enough. Over 246 years of enslavement on this soil. And as Martin Luther King Jr. said, before the Pilgrims came to Plymouth, you all were here before. That should be enough. You don't need any other hyphen to go along with you. You are an American. This is a soil that you were born. You're native to this place because you were born here. This is your nationality. The funniest thing about it is that you are the only group, I'm telling you this in a loving way, you are the only group of people, that call themselves African Americans. Do you see or hear Jamaicans call themselves African Jamaicans? Or do you ever hear African Trinidadians or African Barbadians or whatever the terminology is? So why is it that you are the only one that's running around with that narrative as though you have the keys to Africa?
Just to give a history for people that don't know, that term came about during the 1980s with Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Push Coalition. They started saying African American. We are African American. Now, the reason why a lot of people, you got to go back to that time period and understand how Black people was feeling at the time. See, now there's more so a patriotic renaissance for Black Americans now versus back then. A lot of Black Americans didn't feel like they were American. They wasn't happy about being in America whatsoever by the way that a lot of us were treated by these people. And so we was called Black forever, right? And then he came up with African American. So, hey, we are, connected to Africa. We're African American. And that term just kind of took off and started using the term African American. Now, there was more African Americans here than anybody else. Then with mass immigration that started happening, you start getting more African immigrants, in particular, not so much Caribbean we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on African immigrants. And when they got here, they say, well, you African American, like you wasn't even born in Africa. Well, why are you calling yourself African American? It doesn't make sense. And some people say, well, because I'm from Africa. Say, but you wasn't born there though. I was born in Africa. You were born here. You're an American. What are you talking about? So for a long time now, so you fast forward to 2025. Because of the influx of African immigrants, they are truly, you could say, an African American if they become a citizen. We are a Black American, or some people say foundational Black American, because we were the group of people that was here before the foundation of this country, before we built this country from the ground up. So we didn't immigrate anywhere. We were the founders of this country. Now, she's right. No one in Jamaica calls himself an African Jamaican. Nobody does that. But that was not a Caribbean thing. It wasn't a Afro-Latino thing. It was none of that. That was only something that was here in America. Now you have more Black Americans that say, no, call me Black. I'm not no African American. I've never been to Africa. I'm not African. And I get what they're saying when they say they're not African. I'm going to tell you exactly what they're saying when they say they're not African. They just not really expressing it the right way. They're not culturally African. They're not. We aren't culturally African. Now, have I seen similarities with FBAs and Africans by being on the continent or Caribbeans? Yes. All of us got some of the same traits. All of us make some of the same exact mistakes, some greater, some less. All of us have been affected by racism, white supremacy, and you can see it from here to the Caribbean to the continent of Africa. I've seen that with my own two eyes. So that's one thing that nobody could tell me because I've been there and I've seen it. Now, being culturally African, we're not. We don't speak the African proverbs. We don't eat the food. We don't have their culture. We have our own Black American culture. So culturally, I'm an FBA. Yeah, of course we of African descent. Of course we got African DNA. I mean, it doesn't take much to figure that part out. But when somebody say I'm not African, what they're telling you I'm not culturally African, and somebody say, well, you an African. No, I'm not, because I don't get down like y'all get down. I just don't. I don't have y'all mindset. I don't have that tradition. I don't have to send money back home to somebody. My mama not telling me every time I get paid to send her $100. That's your culture be doing that, not mine. You know what I'm saying? This is just giving one small thing. That's all these immigrants. They all got to send money back. That's why Trump like, oh, I'm about to start taxing that money. Yeah, I'm about to start getting some of that money. Y'all sending too much money outside this economy. And I think that's about to hit shortly. And a lot of them are mad about that Trump about to start taxing that money. Well, they tax all our money. Shoot. Anytime you send some money, they getting a piece of it. But I want you to see the confusion of that term African American. That's why I don't use that term African American. I use Black American, FBA, either or. That's kind of why I'm at with it. That way, none of you can be confused what we are. We're Black, we're Black and we're proud. Okay, that's where we at with it. Our Blackness is beautiful. We love our FBA culture. We love it, and that's it. So trust me, the confusion, and I want all of you who are in this country. I'm talking about those who are definitely connected to the soil of this country, that ancestors was enslaved. You are FBA or Black American, whatever you want to say, but let these people know you Black. And that's just the end of it. We're not African American, because Elon Musk can say he's African American. He was born in South Africa. So I am not the same as Elon Musk. And the only reason about that, I've said this before about, I love my brothers and sisters in South Africa, but, they call them folks over there African, South African. In my opinion, no European could be called an African. None. But hey, that's them and their business. That's that. So that's why I don't get involved with that conversation no more. I've been left that alone. I say, hey, let Naledi and all them handle that conversation. I'm not dealing with that no more because I get aggravated, right? But we got to end the confusion, and we're ending the confusion. We're not African Americans. We are Black Americans.